similar to yours?
I mean, I also did an internship in Ghana, and I remember when I got in first, the lady I met, she was like, "Are you Akwesi's brother?" I was like,
she was expecting somebody else.
Yeah, apparently, I don't know, but I was surprised, and she was like, "Are you Akwesi's brother?" And then I caught the shake. I said, "Oh no, I'm not Akwesi's brother."
So you're not the one supposed to be hired.
Apparently, I don't know, but that was a shock to me.
Yeah.
Right? All right, we are back again with another episode, for the Migrant series. The feedback has been great. People are sharing, liking, subscribing. This is amazing. We are just glad that you're finding this very informative and helpful. Today we are talking about something very, very important.
Exactly. We always talk about important things.
This one is different level because see, this whole migrant thing, right? Is that no man to So one of the main reasons people migrate obviously is to seek greener pastures, right? Better life. So far we've talked about how you can find, if you're coming through the education route, right? How you can find opportunities like scholarships, how you can apply, send emails, get help, right?
Funding,
all of that stuff, right? But then once you come in, you never forget, why you're here, to get a better life. And one of such is, you start looking for internships, right? So how do people do, look for these internships and stuff like that?
I think one of the big resources that people find internships from is like the career centers in schools, right? So they will give you a lot of information on available internships.
Right.
There are some companies that will like post to like I think there's an app for a lot of the schools use that where there are job postings. Handshake, yes, Handshake. Yeah. That's what it's called. Yeah. So there are a lot of opportunities there. One place that you can get opportunities to is career fairs. So every semester there are career fairs that are held. Some for the broader university community, and some departments themselves hold like their own career fairs for the programs.
And these career fairs, like companies coming, they bring some of the openings they have. They meet students. Students bring their resumes. Some even interview.
Some interview on the spot. Some too, they just look at the resume, probably invite you for a home office interview, all of that stuff.
Sometimes they fly you in, depending on where the company is at. It's nice.
You go so, and then see
fly you in for an internship. See, that's where it's. I'm cool. All right. So as you can see, here in the US, for instance, right, companies are very intentional and deliberate about getting interns. And I think one way they look at it is, well, an internship is like a good way for you to assess the student or the candidate if they are a good fit. So they come in with the sole purpose of, okay, this person that we are bringing in, well, in most cases, right, their goal is to hire the person after they graduate full time. But they think of the internship as like a test run, to check if you're a good fit, and then they also say that so that you two will check if they are a good fit.
That was the first time I heard that. Like the person was like, "Oh, we also want to show you, we also want to prove to you that this is a good company to work for, and that we are a good fit for you."
And then I've never heard that. How can you not be a good fit?
I am a good fit for you. But one thing is, for international students, it is a very arduous process, right? It's very difficult. Sometimes because you need companies that will probably sponsor your, depending on what visa you have, that would sponsor are willing to sponsor different types of visas for you, the H1B.
And even though they don't have to sponsor you for the internship, right?
Yes.
But because of this thinking of long term, they would have to hire you afterwards. Unfortunately, not all companies do that.
Yeah.
You know, but there are a good number of companies out there
Yeah.
that would also do that for
Yeah.
you. So you just have to, like, as you're applying, you just have to be cognizant of that and then decide, you know, where to spend your time.
Yeah. But this video is not intended to be a how to apply for an internship,
Oh yeah,
right?
that one.
It's more or less talking about how companies think about internships
here in the US
and
how much of a shock that some of us, you know, like see. As a Ghanaian, if you get an you have to go for an interview for an internship, and then they put you on a plane. You know, they fly you in to come for an interview for the internship. You go bust your mind.
That one, they say they want you to assess whether they are good fit.
Yes, you go bust your mind. You're like, wait, hold up, you know. So but it goes
what
to
was your
show.
experience? What was your experience? How did you get an internship?
Yeah, actually,
what was the story?
Well, I think I've done 2 internships. Or I did 2 internships. The first one, how did I even get that internship? See, I just applied. I think we went for IABA.
Yeah.
So IABA is the International Association of Black Actuaries. When I was in the actuarial field, we went for a conference, and then, you know, we went to talk to all these different companies, right? Go around our mouth small. And then, you know, I think I either left my resume with that company in particular, or I don't remember. But then I got a phone call for, you know, so they started by having like a quick 15 to 30 minutes
conversation
initial to see one casano, you know. So I got a phone call, and they were like, "Oh, we are from so and so company. We got your resume. You know, we saw your resume about an internship that we have. You know, are you still interested?" And I'm like, "Oh yes, I am. I'm interested." You know, so I think that phone call was just to get a sense of like my background and, you know, what I was looking for and so on and so forth. And then they followed it up with like, I think from there they brought me in for an on-site interview. This is like a couple years back, so I may not fully.
You are aging yourself,
Charlie.
A couple years back, how old are you?
Well, Charlie, I mean, it's been it's been a number of years. So then you know, that's when they said you know, they will fly me into the city where the company was, and then I was like, just for the hey. Charlie, and then so you know, it was funny when, you know, of course they booked their flights and all of that, and then I flew to the city. Then guess what?
Hotel.
And yeah, no cry. There was somebody with my name, with an Escalade waiting.
Hey, Charlie! Charlie, it was different.
It was different level. Hey, me so me ba we inform about my shame jeans binya the yeah, that's what I mean. That and yeah, me my buy. I didn't think it was such a
you didn't think it was
right? Yeah. Timmy Drew airport, so I'm say, oh, somebody will meet me, and I'm say, oh, okay. I mean, Drew, I'll be Mr. Boss. Timmy, I didn't say that will be a taxi being here for now. Hey, but
they show you the
Escalade.
Wow.
So I can't tell my bop to my no, it's not even like there's pothole here.
Well, there are some potholes.
But so yeah, and I'm so okay. Hey, me quite the traffic. I started filming about this small.
So the question I have right now, so if they do all of this and you come to the interview and you are not any good.
Like, I think one thing though is that, so the company also wants to see, one thing is in the US, companies value top talent.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see the competition, like, you know, right now with what's happening with AI, right? Yeah. The thing that will make or break is how solid your talent is, right? And so, I mean, I now understand a lot of why they do stuff like that, right? The reason is that they also want to market themselves to you, right? They want to attract you. So to you, you might think, oh, I'm just an intern, right?
You don't continue on story.
So, anyways, then the guy took me to my hotel. Yeah. You know, I was there. Charlie, that I didn't even have suit though. So then, saying.
So how
I just come. Send me. No, I had to call my friend B to socket.
So you are going with to the interview with what?
Send my friend B area. See, the bottom line is that if Ghana,
you have come from far. please.
The bottom line is that.
I didn't go to this.
So hustle. You see, so what I'm saying is that they bring you in. So go to my hotel, called my friend. He socketed me. With some fine suit. I feel share suit. I say, Charlie, So fast forward, I went for the interview. I think I met with like 3 or 4 actuaries at the time. Solid interview back to back. Afterwards, they took me to some fancy lunch. And then they were like, okay, I'll hear from them, blah blah blah. And then I think after a couple of weeks or so, I got an offer. Yeah. So that was my story. I don't know, how was yours like?
I think mine was. I mean, they brought me in as well. It wasn't escalated.
They didn't fly in.
But where I went for the interview was like maybe 2 hours away from where I was going to school.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't need to go to an airport. I took the train.
Okay.
Went there. Went into the hotel room. Everything was
nice.
And then there were 2 people that came to take me out for dinner that day. It was good. Then the interview was like 5 people. Internship.
The same.
No, 5 different like back to back.
Yeah,
5.
I'm telling you.
I was like,
it's not.
Charlie,
No, they are trying to hire you.
Yeah, so I was like, wait, 5 people. They were, the first person will come and talk about a couple subjects. The other person will talk about something different. Long story short is that it was a rigorous process on various topics, which can sometimes take different turns.
Yeah.
And then
you sit back and I'm like, hey, just internship. Yeah. And then a full-time job there.
Yeah, and it was a very serious process. Like during the internship itself, the kind of work that you do are jobs or like tasks that the full-time employees should have done if they had time, right? Like you are actually doing meaningful work and all of that. And at the end of the day, some people have like a final presentation to
everything happen.
It's a very rigorous process, but that's where the shock comes in. That like compared to how
and the pay is good. I mean, as we are making it sound like compared to your point, right?
In public?
No, what I'm saying is that now you coming from Ghana, right? The internships, I know people who get like those days
I used to get 30 cedis.
But then over here, you can get like $30-40 an hour for an internship, right? So what I want to clarify, because the way we are saying this rigorous is this and that, right? People might think, hey, but I think they also pay reasonably well, right? I mean, some might argue, that maybe the pay is not enough, right? But I mean, if you are a migrant, you just came and you got an internship, and even if they pay you $30 an hour, right?
So
3 months, $30 an hour, So I guess the long and short of it is that they right from the start, right? The companies show you they really are looking for top talent. They want you, right? And then they put in the effort. They also make sure that once you come in, the work you do is very meaningful, right? Because if they are paying all this money and they are not making you do meaningful, and they are just fast of swear.
Come to send me to buy this.
Exactly. That of course is not good use of their money. Right? Now let's take a quick U-turn and compare to how internships usually run in Ghana, for instance. Why you scratch your hair?
It's a head scratcher. I think we really need to improve upon the way we do internships in Ghana. Well, my first internship, the work that I was doing, I think it was meaningful work, right? It was work that, so here was the backstory. When I got, it was in the claims department. When I got into, it was an insurance company, claims department. When I got there.
Wait, you mean the US internship?
No, Ghana internship. Ghana internship. When I got there, there were like 2 main workers in the claims department, and one of them had gone on like maternity leave or something, so they were short staffed, right?
Oh, okay.
And so I had to do, do, and it was good. But stories from people that I've heard, it's just like the internship sometimes becomes a big waste of time. And I had another experience somewhere when I felt like
those stories you heard.
That was mostly like, I was like, why do they have all these interns and just like we are not doing anything? And the pay, it was just absolute. Like I said, I was being paid 30 cedis. I mean,
30 cedis a month, an hour, a week.
A month.
30 cedis a month.
Yeah, that was when 2000, like let's say 2012, there about 30 cedis was not anything to scoff at, but like 30 cedis a month is also like really. They said it was for transport support.
Transport allowance. You know, in Ghana when we don't pay enough, we say it's an allowance.
It's an allowance, yeah. You know? So that was my experience.
Yeah.
How about yours?
I mean, I also did an internship in Ghana, and I remember when I got in first, the lady I met, you know, she was like, "Are you Akwesi's brother?" I was like,
she was expecting somebody.
Yeah, else. Apparently, I don't know, but I was surprised. You know, she was like, "Are you Akwesi's brother?" And then I caught the shake. I said, "Oh no, I'm not Akwesi's brother."
So you're not supposed to be hired.
Apparently, I don't know, but you know, that was a shock to me.
Yeah.
Right? Anyways, long story short, like you described, when I first got in, the work was not necessarily giddy-giddy-bia, you know, like at the time we do material science. Oh, me mom, they not send me buy beans. What they ever send me? Nah, they not should send me, but then at the office horse and the people that they do Twitter, you know. So for me, I was a little so I used to do some coding, programming here and there, right? So in my low time, I would be doing that. And one day, by mistake, my boss, you know, chance of me doing it. And myself, I was like, why am I doing this thing? You know, company time. And he was actually happy to see that I could do that. So, you know, he brought me to his office, talked to me about some of the issues they had that I could, you know, if I could build some software to help. So my story turned from, I just come here and I don't even know what I'm doing. You know, I just come here, I don't know what I'm doing to, now when I come to work, I find something meaningful, right? You know, I was building some software for them. So, that was nice. And I think, you know, they gave me some small,
for
the software, right? The other one there is,
you were not being paid.
Transport allowance. Transport allowance.
I think the money has to improve, obviously, but then the work itself, like I feel like most importantly is
do you think companies in Ghana in general don't have work? Like how? Okay, let's take a step back, because we did say that in the US, you know, people bring you in as an intern with the hope of hiring you full time. How do companies hire people full time in Ghana?
Definitely not through the internship.
Well, how are they finding talent?
Not primarily through the internship.
First of all, they are finding talent.
So when you went, somebody asked you if you are Akwesi's brother. So you come and do the internship and Akwesi's brother will be hired full time. Yes, so Akwesi's brother. But jokes aside, I don't think the internship is. For some companies, right, there are a lot of people who said, they did, for example, national service and then they got retained. So I think there's a pathway for you to get a permanent job through an internship. But at the very least, it is not intentional. It is not like this is the part we always hire from. Like I did an internship here, and the whole. So every year they have a number of actuaries that they hire, right? The whole point of the internship was to get the next batch that they were going to hire. And they will tell you that they consider their internship group first for the positions they want to hire. And if they are not able to fill it, because maybe the people that came were not very good or didn't meet the standard,
then they decline the offer.
Or sometimes they decline the offer because people get multiple offers.
Right.
then they will look for outside people to fill it.
And it makes sense.
So and it makes sense because they would have seen you, they would have become familiar with you. You have like happy like social events.
You're also exposed to
on multiple levels.
Work and their strategy. You know some of their internal stuff at that time, right? So as an intern, you're working on their stuff. So, but I don't know. In Ghana, Charlie,
it has to improve. The system has to improve.
Yeah, I mean how many times do companies even go to, say, our universities, right?
Yeah.
To do these career fairs? How many times?
I've told you that the companies, they don't have any need for it. There are a lot of
that they don't have a need for it, or they just don't do it.
But see, if you go and do a career fair and somebody says they want, they are interested in the job, do you have a job for them that are going to do career fair? Do you have a job for them that?
But then that just means, it goes back to a point I made earlier on this channel. Like, our companies are not expanding.
Yeah, definitely. There are a lot of
the only way, or one of the surest ways to grow and expand is you bring in more talents, right?
Do you think you expand before you bring in more talents, or you bring in more talents and then you expand?
So here's the thing, right?
I think you have to expand.
No, so here's the thing, You start a company, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you carry your money, 100,000, you go put for business, right?
Yeah.
You don't just expect that, tomorrow you go bring another 100,000, right? You have to see that 100,000 you put in, right? It's growing to some extent, and then you say, okay, to go to the next frontier, right? I need to inject maybe more capital.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
So I think that there is, in as much as yes, you have to do that capital injection, right? There is also that, bring in the talent, right? To help you grow.
The talent that they have brought in, have they grown to that?
You see, so the question is really like, that talent you have right now, right? Is it really the talent you need for the next year?
So they should sack the person.
I'm not saying you should sack them, right? But you have instances where people are like retirement age, and then they'll come back.
They will get their contract.
You get what I mean, right? Yeah. I mean, you have like KNUST, for instance, coming up with a bunch of, say, look at finance, right? Actuarial science, a whole bunch of people. I mean, I would argue a lot of these guys are very smart, right? Like, you can't tell me we live in a country like Ghana where we obviously look at the financial sector thing we had to go waste money on or spend money on, right? The cleanup and all of that. We have real financial management issues, right? That we are training expertise to help us navigate, right? So it's really hard for me when somebody says, "Oh, we don't need the expertise."
I don't think it's we don't need, like, the space is not. It's not expanding.
Yeah,
exactly. The space is not expanding because part of it is maybe like we are like talent issues. Part of it is, I don't know, like,
let me give you an
corporate governance issues. Part of it is the size of even the economy crap. Like, how will it, if you have an insurance company, right? Like, business depends on business. Like, businesses depend on the economy as a whole to also expand, right? If the economy is not doing well,
what would make the economy expand? Do you get it? It's take insurance. You just brought up insurance, right? If you decide to buy auto insurance, car insurance in Ghana, right? As it stands, right? A lot of the companies, I don't know if all of them do it, but a lot of the companies, they just ask you, what's the value of the car?
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's how many used to
come laughing. You see, so there is no such thing as individualized, like, rates.
But the NIC has brought the rates,
right? You see what I mean? I mean, clearly we know that people should be paying based off of their risk. That's their risk level, right? And I mean, aside even auto insurance, there are other businesses where, like, it's like there is no. We don't have the right level of nuance, to really exploit some of these intricacies. Charlie, you see the you see, when I hang around with, but you see, the point is that, like, you can do the most basic thing. Like, all I'm saying is that the most basic thing is usually not going to take you to the next level, right? You need to bring that nuances and then talent. Now they're pensing.
So how do you expect internships to change or to make use of their talent?
I think so far it has been like, everything has been left on the student.
Yeah.
It's like you, the student, you have to go find internship. Well, God help you if you don't have, your Akwesi is not your brother.
Well, God helps you.
Somehow I showed up and I wasn't Akwesi's brother, but who knows, right? So all I'm saying is that if, let's say you are at the Polytechnic or let's say university in Ghana, right? You are somehow on your own, you have to go out there looking for your internships, right? Which, even here, people go out looking for their internships, right? But then it's like, okay, what can the companies and the academic institutions even, meet them halfway, right? Like, for instance, the university can invite companies to come in, right?
They do some.
Yeah, they do some, but it's just not at a level where like it's more. You see, the kind now China is you're talking about just being intentional about stuff, right? Because you can do something, but then if what you are doing is not at a level where you have that critical mass to create that impetus, right? To really.
Why is it that like just what you use words?
Oh, that's it. I don't know. Charlie, I didn't see society.
Okay.
I mean the right word
I don't know, Seth. I don't know what.
Now you don't know.
Continue.
Okay, my point is that you want to be intentional about some of these initiatives, right? To a point where you are able to create that critical mass now we here for something to move. So for instance, let's say you are a professor at which school do you want to be professor at? Tech. KNUST professor. Yes. Let's say, right? Allegedly, right? I say assumption, right?
Yes. For example.
For example, big professor, maybe you put belly back, come and boss.
That shall not be me. Jesus' name.
Obviously, if you're a professor in Ghana, you have a lot of influence. Even if what you are saying is not all that, it's just part of our culture, right? Some of the problems, the real problems that are important that the industry is facing, right? You can use some of your connections, to reach out to the industry, right? Either through consulting or just, interacting with them, say, company way, you talk to some networks there, like, issues Ben and move facing. Or you yourself, you can even come up with potential, right? And then you have students, who will be working on some of this. So you create. So what that helps with is that professor also research our way, and it's not only just book. What I said, there is that practical aspect, and that's key. Students students at the end of the day, you want the students to have some kind of practical exposure, because book theory, by the time you graduate, the real world is like way different.
I would like the internships. Maybe some do, but this is from anecdotal that people.
Continue. No, dear.
This is from people's stories, right? People always complaining about these things. It's not just something that we're making up. And some of us have both of us have experienced. Some
of Ghanaians, I'm sure.
To that extent. I just want the internships to be intentional. Like, you've spoken about finding the internship and making sure that we are training students who are what industry wants, right? And the professors and the schools can
collaborative.
But now for even the companies, when a student comes and does internship, it should be that by the time the student leaves, they have a sense of what you guys do in a company. They have some project, even if it means like some projects that they are working on during the entire internship, that's contributing to it. And some.
Do you think companies don't trust our students enough to be able to do?
I think sometimes I hear certain commentary on the media that the industry doesn't feel that graduates are ready. So those who have graduated are not ready.
But you
see,
first year. I mean, part of it too is that the graduates, they went through 4 years, 3 years of whatever tertiary they went to, right?
Yeah.
And they've never had any exposure.
Exactly.
The calculus that they did, go find X, go find Y, and on them foul. That by itself is nothing.
Nobody even uses. A lot of people don't use any of that stuff in their jobs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So what I'm saying is that the industry, I feel it's a little unfair
for them
the industry to then turn around
and say,
exactly, because I mean, of course, the graduates, students have to work hard, right? They have to make sure they understand, not just dream about, right? I mean, these are all conversations we can get into later, right? But all I'm saying is that it's not, as a nation, we can't just leave our entire future in the hands of just the students.
Yeah.
Because whether we like it or not, these are going to be our future leaders,
yep.
Right? If we just let them, once I buy investor, I say, once you are in the university, you are an adult. You should know what you want, right? The truth of the matter is that a lot of the time when people finish high school and they enter university, they are still either teenagers.
They are still forming what they want to do.
Yeah, they are not necessarily smart, as in not academically, but as a wisdom-wise. We need a lot of experiences, right? Coming out of adolescence and stuff like that, right? So we couldn't possibly, as a serious nation, right? As a serious nation, because I want to believe we are a serious nation. We couldn't possibly just
leave them unguided.
Pretend like at that age they are all good and ready to take. We have to be intentional about what we need them to be doing, right? And then we have to also provide the support.
Yeah. Okay.
So yes, internship. You go buy the beans.
Charlie,
we'll finish now.
Before we have a third
I said to my boy been on Twitter. Once we come to work.
Yeah, he's just on Twitter.
This was 2013, 14-ish. I mean, Twitter, no, Charlie. The phones that are not be getting. So, they do Twitter. I say, hey, which one be Twitter? It's Charlie, tweets, no. So for him, the internship was a fantastic time. Because he gets free internet. Do you get it?
To be on Twitter.
To be on Twitter.
Yeah, it's not good. Hopefully, folks, if you are a business owner,
try. I mean seriously. If you're a business owner, see, the thing is that I always say this, right? Ghana is a little weird because we all know we have problems.
Yeah.
We all know we have problems.
But we don't need
now, when you even start asking, okay, what would solutions look like? Then somehow it's like all the problems start eluding you.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't even pinpoint the problems. What I mean is you can't pinpoint like specific solution designs, right? Like you said, the companies don't think they need. No, you have problems. I mean, a lot of these companies that are running around, right? Take from industry to industry to industry. You can pick agriculture, finance, right? Healthcare, right? There are problems
that need fixing.
What I say. So, when are we going to be very intentional about, say? Students now do go school now but I don't know I know they need
when they DBO
yeah. So I don't know, say the thing is that when the lecturer comes and explains, a grown lecturer no problem drink a crack. So allegedly, right? It's one person you don't sometimes say allegedly. What I say? So lecturer didn't do you cry, I don't need time to pense. A grown crab bro no using you don't even understand. What I say, no say about later. What I say. And so the bottom line is if I explain something to you, right? And then you don't really understand. The best you can do is to at least have it in memory. Because I'm not the I'll bet you.
You have to write the exam at all.
Yeah.
Well,
so, and I mean, we also seem to value exams a lot, and But the bottom line is that internships are very different in Ghana and then here in the US, for obvious reasons, right? But like I said, over here, I don't think the whole deal of an internship is just left for the students.
Yeah,
right? We have the schools, taking active steps in making sure that the students, first of all, they are understanding something, right? And then they are also making sure that the students are getting the exposure they need. Right? And then the industry also,
And maybe one aspect that needs to be introduced or we have to value is like the competitive nature of the schools. Because one of the things that I noticed was that like the program director or whoever was in the department head or whatever, right? They are interested in making sure that their students get matched into top companies because then that reflects well on the program that they are running. So for instance, like a professor will tell you that, oh, maybe our program, we have X, Y, and Z graduates from the program working at Google, or they are every year X, Y, and Z interns work at Facebook or something. It gives a certain prestige to the program, right? Yeah. And the programs are also very, very competitive. So somebody, Harvard is trying to attract the best talent into their MBA. Stanford is trying to do that. ISU is trying to do something to attract. The schools are not. We are not competing against each other. I don't think Legon and Tech think that they have to.
I think they are competing.
No, in terms of the you see how like when they track the students, right? Every once in a while I get an email from my school that I should maybe I should give them something on where I'm at and all of that.
I think Tech
right now I've seen something like that. That's what I'm saying. They should improve upon that process and they should make it a thing to boast of, right? Yeah. Even the schools should be in the business of like boasting about where their alumni are, where their students get placed for internships, and keep all those metrics because then that helps in making the programs even more competitive.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's in the right direction. I think it goes back to this idea of like it's not just we are running a program. You just came in, right?
Yeah.
You're on your own. Good luck. And then when you graduate, well, we wish you well. You get it? And it's like the university has that has to change.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
If you can't track something, if you can't measure something, you probably can't change it.
Yeah, of course. Because you have no basis of saying it's a problem, right?
So we have to try.
So that's a step in the right direction from KNUST, obviously. It's good to be technical.
The other people that went to the other schools, me, I don't know for them.
Well,
but you can still watch our video, like, share, subscribe.
Tell us what you think about internships.
What was your experience?
Did you do any internship in Ghana? Have you done any internship outside of Ghana? Let us know what surprised you, what beans you were sent to buy, and how your experience was, and what you think could be
done about the process.
So thank you so much for tuning in on this episode of our migrant series.
Yes.
My name is Akojebu. We have some. We have a ton of very good programming for the rest of the series. We have so many fantastic guests, lined up to come and share their awesome knowledge and experiences. You will learn a lot. You walk away feeling like, wow,
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you so much for being such an awesome audience.
Yes.
Again, don't forget to share, subscribe. See, even if not for your enemies, share it to them.
Please, we beg.
Yeah, we beg.
We are not their enemies.
They may be your enemies, but we are all right with them. All right. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you again in the next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.